Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to see everybody here. It's exciting to be with you tonight, especially because we are so close to Halloween, which is, I think, my very favorite time of the entire year. I'm really, really happy to be here, just on the brink of having some great holiday celebrations coming up this year. I'm very, very excited. Um, I am having a wee little bit of difficulty making sure things work right on my end here because they've changed the control panel a little bit, just enough to confuse me. So if you're having any trouble seeing or hearing me, please, Lisa, make a comment in the chat room or come on and remind me with the mic, okay? I think I've got my settings all right, but just in case I don't, it's nice to know that you've got my back. So, folks, we have a busy night this evening. I have some announcements I'm going to make, and of course, I'll go over how to get the most out of tonight's session. Right off the bat, I want to remind you that yes, I'm still offering that free answering one question if you did not get a live reading tonight, and that's provided you are here on the call live and have also stayed until the end. So if you meet those requirements and you didn't get called on for a session of reading with me this evening, then feel free to email me anytime between now and tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with your question. And meanwhile, let me jump on to go and zip as quickly as I can through my announcements. I've got quite a few things to talk about this evening. I'm going to start on the right side and go around like a clock so we can talk about all of these things. First off, I hope everybody is aware right now that Apple's changed a whole lot of things with its app. So if you have the app for my website, which you can certainly listen to the Psychic Hour on, and also any classes you have in your library. If you have your app on a PC Droid-based phone, you're fine. It'll still work. But if your app is on an Apple product, it's not going to work for interactive things. So you're still going to be able to listen to things that are in your library, and you'll be able to listen to this broadcast when I have it. But you're not going to be able to interact with it any longer. Now, Kajabi, that's the platform that I have my website on, is working to try and figure out how they can, they're working with Apple to try to see how they can recreate the old application because it was so very convenient, but so far they've not been successful. So if you are listening to tonight's webinar and you're on your iPhone or an iPod or a computer, which is what most of you probably are on, don't try to listen to it on the app. If you want to interact and ask a question, if you just want to listen, that's fine. But if you want to actually interact, type something in the chat room or interact with me, then just go straight in through your browser. And so you can still do it, but you've got to do it the old-fashioned way instead of using the app. Okay, I also wanted to remind you, I like to do this each time we meet, that we now have an open forum on our website. Again, it's available on the Droid application, and it's also available, on your computer, but not through your iPhone at this point. But it is wonderful. It's an open community. So, folks, I'm inviting you to go there, involve yourself with the other people in the community, talk about your thoughts, talk about the things that are interesting you in your metaphysical studies and in the things that are going on in your life right now that are maybe synchronistic or that are psychic experiences you just are so filled up with and want to share. That's what the open forum is for. It's wonderful. It's an opportunity for people like you and me to get together and exchange thoughts and ideas and know that we're not weird on the open community on www.sandyanastasia.com. We're normal because all of us people who are involving in that community are the same in that we have a novel way of looking at the world. We are opening our psychic senses. We are interested in things psychic. And so it's a place where you can go and be accepted. I really want people to have that opportunity. And yes, I know that Facebook is available and a lot of folks belong to Facebook. I do too. But Facebook's getting a little harder to actually be comfortable with because of all of the social network censorship. On our open community, you are not going to be censored unless you're ripping into somebody else on the community. You know, we all get along. We don't need to have those kinds of issues there. We're not political, but boy, oh boy, are we supported. So give it a try, okay? It's something that I think is really going to give you a sense of family, a place to belong, just like the Psychic Hour does. Okay, I have 2 new web classes coming up. I'm so excited about them. The first one is this coming Thursday. It's coming up really, really fast. October 28th, it's at 7 p.m. And it's the Intro to Spirit Communication. And what I'm doing on that webinar is I'm taking a tremendous amount of information concerning spirit communication as an art form, as a psychic ability, as something you may have active in your own life. I'm explaining it. I'm answering questions. I'm talking about benefits, and I'm talking about also some potential pitfalls and dangers of it. And what's beautiful is it's just 2 days before Halloween. So our veil is going to be so thin at that point. It's the ideal time to run this webinar. So I'm really excited. If you haven't registered, the fee to get in is just $25. So it's a very inexpensive webinar. If you're one of my VIP members, the fee is $20. So you get a $5 discount for being a VIP off of that webinar. Now, I also have another webinar that I've just scheduled, and that's coming up in November. It's also $25, and the title is I'm Not Psychic, or Am I? Which I suspect is the way a whole lot of you folks who are listening to me now feel about yourself. And I'm going to be doing with that webinar the same kind of thing I'm doing with the spirit communication webinar, where I'm really talking about what your psychic ability is, how it might manifest. So by the time you finish with that webinar, you're going to really know whether or not you're psychic, a good understanding of how your abilities might work, whether or not you want to develop them further, what can you use them for if you did. It's going to be a great webinar. And again, the fee for that is $25. If you're a VIP member, it's $20. You get a $5 discount. Okay, and that's November 11th at 7 p.m. So both of those webinars are going to be great. I really hope that I'm going to get to see you there. Now, the next coaching call for my VIP members, I know a lot of you are here tonight. Make sure you've got it on your calendar. It's November 18th, and remember, those coaching calls are 7 p.m. and you have the link for that already. It's in your VIP membership area. Our next psychic hour, and this is for everybody, our next psychic hour is November 28th. Please, while you're thinking about it, write it down and go ahead and join up as soon as this seminar is done. I can only take 100 people on the GoToMeeting platform that I own, or that my subscription allows. So if you want to be assured of getting a seat on the psychic hour, it's important to pre-register, okay? So go ahead and get yourself pre-registered. And again, that psychic hour is always free, and it's always at 9 p.m., and that's, of course, Eastern time, okay? So put that on your calendar and get yourself registered. Going around like a clock, if you missed any of my sessions or any other sessions of Luminescence, Common Sense Spirituality with Sharon Lynn Wyeth on Om Talk Radio. You can always listen to her replays. They're archived on her website. They're archived on Om Times Radio. And they're also archived, at least my sessions with her are archived on my website under Events, the Events tab. Now, I will be on with her again. I'm always on odd months, and it's the second week. Okay, if you can remember that. I have trouble remembering it. So that's why I'm announcing it here. I will be on with her. My next show with her is going to be November 11th, and it will be at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And that show is going to be about archetypes, which is I think going to be really interesting. We're going to be talking about everything from astrological symbolism to mythology to psychological archetypes, psychology, uh, all kinds of things, because we come from very different backgrounds metaphysically. So we're going to have a really good talk. I do hope you'll be able to make it. If not, remember it will be archived. Now, finishing up with my announcements here, in October, we've only got 1 week left. These are my monthly specials, folks. My reading, Vampires in Your Life, is $250. You've got a short period left. If you've got vampires in your life and you want to know what to do with them, if you want to know what's really happening, if those vampires are people, if those vampires are a life situation, if your energy is being drained, this is a great reading, and it's not available as a regular reading on my website. So this is a special, and the cost is $250. You've got to register for it before the end of October in order to get in on it. I'm also, this is a remnant of my October specials, I'm still promoting my VIP membership drive from October. And the reason that's being promoted this month too. The reason I've got it in both places, and I'm going to ask Lisa for this one, because each month I'm giving out a different bonus for your joining or bringing somebody in, if you're already a member, into the VIP membership. This month's bonus, I'm not sure because my brain's going in too many different directions. So, Lisa, I'm going to ask you if you can double check for me, and I'll come back to you in just a minute. What was my bonus for October and what will be my bonus for November? Because if you're planning on joining, that might make a difference because you get a different bonus for each month. And of course, you can also check yourself back on the website. Lisa, do you know that offhand, or do you need to quick check that?
I don't, Sandy, but it is on your site, so anybody can go to your site and read that.
Yep.
Which I think they should, because they're going to be able to read everything entirely instead of us just trying to put something together here.
Yeah. And you get so many perks for being a VIP member. Just like you've heard me say, people get $5 off on each one of these webinars. It all adds up. When we were on the retreat, which was great, folks. I'm glad so many of you folks who are here with me every month in the Psychic Hour, I see a lot of repeat faces and names. You guys were wonderful in the retreat. You had so much fun at the Psychic Fair. Some of you were Psychic Fair readers. It was fun. And those of you who are also VIPs, we got to have a breakfast together. So we had some real personal interaction. It was a lot of fun. And I have to tell you, I really enjoyed meeting you. So I'm so grateful that you were there. And I'm glad I was there because we just had so much fun. So there are a lot of little perks that come along all year long if you're a VIP, which is also getting educational guidance from me as a coach each month. So at any rate, those things are all written on the website. I just can't remember, and I apologize. I should have written it down, which bonus is for which month. Okay, but that certainly is easy enough to check. And when you do decide which month you want to either join up yourself in order to collect the bonus you want most, or if you're already a member and you bring somebody else in, not only do they get the bonus, but you get the bonus too. So, I mean, there are all kinds of little nice things about that. Okay, November specials. Now, these don't begin until a week from tomorrow because they are November. They don't start until November 1. This is big, folks. My year at a glance reading. It's only $250. I only run it for a short time each year. And this year, I'm increasing the length of time. In the past, I've advertised it during December, but it doesn't go on sale until January. And so you've got to buy it, and you've got to have those readings set up. And by the time we get to the end of February, I cut the readings off because this year at a glance is really looking at your entire year in a predictive way. What's going to be happening each month, and what's the big focus for the year, and how you can be prepared for what's coming at you each month, what month is the greatest or the best time to make career moves or financial moves or relationship challenges to meet them or to develop a good relationship. It's really amazing what we can get out of that year at a glance reading. My guides and I work with you one-on-one, and I get so many people every year, it's getting bigger and bigger, that this year I talked to Lisa about it and I said, I think we need to start advertising it early. And now you're not going to be able, you can get that reading from the time you schedule it up until the end of February. I think that's when it's, you need to get in there and get the reading as soon as possible, because as soon as people see it, they're going to start signing up, is what I'm saying. Okay, that really fills, those spots just run out the door. Okay, so my year at a glance reading is being offered, and I will continue to offer that for the next couple of months. So it's not like you have to jump on it right now, but frankly, I would, because it's going to fill up, and then there won't be any spots available. My VIP membership drive is still going on, and which I talked about already. The Anastasi System of Psychic Development Early Enrollment has just opened. Okay, as of now, it's officially open. And what makes the difference with that? It's not going to actually be opened to in a public way where I'm advertising it to the greater world until January. So you're really getting in early. And so we give you some great bonuses. First of all, there's a phenomenal discount for this early enrollment. You won't see a discount this good at a later date. If you register in January, if you think you want this, you're going to pay almost $1,000 more. More like $500 and some odd dollars more, not $1,000, $500 and some odd dollars more. By getting the early enrollment, not only do you save money, but you also get a 3-pay option, so you get to pay a little bit each month. So by the time the class starts, you already paid, and it's done minimal damage to your budget. And you also are going to get all of the bonuses, and there are a lot of them that I give out, not just now for the early enrollment, but also as when it gets open to the public. There are a lot of bonuses that I give, and you're going to get all of those bonuses added on. So it's really, if you're interested in it, if you think you want to study psychic development and you want to study it with Sandy Anastasi, now is a good time to enroll in that program. Now, last, be sure that you're signed up for my newsletter, because then you're going to get my Black Friday specials too. I'm not telling you about them. You have to wait until the beginning of November. My newsletter is going to come out at the end of the month. It won't have them in it. My Black Friday sales are going to come out in a special newsletter that goes out at the beginning of November. So once that newsletter comes out, you're going to know what I'm running for Black Friday. And it's not these things, it's additional things. And so make sure you're signed up for my newsletter so you are sure to get that flyer in your mailbox. Okay, folks. Just a reminder, I am needing, as I jump into doing readings for you, your first name only, and where you're from, what you're most grateful for in your life right now, your sun sign, because that way I'm going to be able to give answers that are going to, my guides will come through and give answers that work for everyone who's on the call right now. And then your specific question. Lisa, who is our first person?
Right, the first person for tonight is going to be Melinda. Melinda, can you unmute yourself?
Hello,
Hello, Melinda.
Oh, can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Melinda. I'm from Ohio. I'm most grateful to be here this evening and to be with in the presence of you. And I'm a Virgo. And my question is, my life is at a crossroads in such an astounding way. And I ended a relationship on Sunday, and my life is just, I don't know, the time has opened up, and I really want to, I guess I don't really know where to go from here. I want to develop my healing gifts and mediumistically, but I just, I'm not sure where to go from here.
Melinda,
Thank you.
the first thing that I'm going to say, and normally I'm going to, and you didn't tell me, well, you did, said you were a Virgo. Normally I just jump in and start talking about your sun sign first because that's going to pertain to everyone, but this is going to pertain to everyone too. My guides and your guides immediately came in. You have a guide who, remember the veil is thin, so it's really easy to see and connect with your guide. You have a guide who is a older woman, and I think she's a grandmother or a great grandmother. And there was, she would have been an immigrant to this country because I hear an accent. Um, Light brown hair, but you would have known her when her hair was very, very thinning. And you would recognize which grandmother or great grandmother she was because she had, it was either teeth missing or teeth widely spaced. There was something weird about her teeth, okay, that I can see. And, it's not like she's pointing to it. I just see that it stands out to me as an identifier. At any rate, she's your guide. Okay. So she's giving me some information here. She says, hi, loved you very dearly and is very happy that you now know that she's still with you. And she says, no, she already knew. You already knew that she was still with you. I think she wants you to know that she's with you, especially though right now because she knows how much your heart is aching. Okay. And what she says is that here you are saying, I don't know what direction I should be heading. Should I be doing this or should I be doing this or should I be doing this? And folks, Melinda's a Virgo. And so, of course, she's responding to this crisis in her life the way Virgos always do. She's looking for some kind of work, something to take on that she can immerse herself in so that she doesn't have to deal with resolving the emotional issue within her. Sorry, Melinda. Okay? That wasn't me, that was her. Okay? Now, what's interesting is that, and I'm sorry, is it okay if I get personal?
Yes, absolutely. Please do.
She's being more personal than it normally would be. But what I'm about to say holds true for all Virgos, but more specifically for you. Here's your sun sign. It's in the 4th house, and it's opposing Neptune up here in the 10th. Okay? So, number one, everyone on this call tonight who's a Virgo, or a Pisces, or a Gemini, or a Sagittarian, because you are the mutable signs, you're all going through some kind of a balancing act in your life right now, where you're feeling torn about what direction to go, but you don't really have clear definitions in your life as to what is going to be the best route for you. All of you mutable signs, including me, I'm a Gemini, you all have the same kind of thing going on, although it's affecting you in different ways, okay? Now, in Linda's case, this is affecting her career, and I'm sorry about going this personal, but whoever this person was that you've been involved with, you were really led down the garden path. That's the result of having a Neptune-Sun opposition. Folks, astrology lesson, the opposition always talks about relationships. And so this relationship kind of interfered with your career because the opposition's between home and career houses. So you did a lot of sacrificing of things that you used to want for this person and didn't really look at who the person was. And so you got blindsided because the things that apparently occurred, which is the reason why you broke the relationship up, were things that you no longer could hide from. You had to accept that this is the way it is, and it was heart and soul crushing. Okay, now the bad part is that you really feel a little bit foolish, and you feel a lot hurt, and you feel a whole lot disillusioned, and you want to put your head in the sand, and you want to not come up the air and expose yourself in any way, shape, or form until the world goes away and you can get past all this stuff. Okay? Now, that's the bad part. The good part, ooh, you're going to love this. You realize that when you take, folks, listen, please, this is important for all of us on the call tonight, but especially those of us who are mutable signs. When you take your rose-colored glasses off. It hurts. When you take off your Pollyanna mindset, it hurts because you're now a grown-up. When you take away the illusions that allowed you to go about your life pretending that the bad things, the bad people, the bad actions didn't exist, you're left with this feeling of, oh my God, the world is not the place I thought it was. Now, whether your disillusionment came from people at work letting you down, or a boyfriend or husband letting you down, or your children letting you down, or somebody divulging a health problem you never knew they had, or. When that delusionment is so large that it shakes your world, as it has Melinda's, thank you for being the guinea pig here, Melinda, because this is so important. When this delusionment shakes your world, it's like it takes the carpet out from under you. You don't even know who you are anymore. This is why Melinda wants to put herself into a job or something she can learn or grow from, because she's looking for something to hold on to. And that's good. That's not a bad thing, Melinda. You just realize what you're doing, okay? Because you really
Yeah.
take this opportunity not to turn away from the disillusionment so that you can dive back into the world of illusion again. You want to leave the rose-colored glasses off and stay the grown-up. You know why? This is the good part I'm getting to. Because we live in a beautiful, wonderful world. And there are wonderful people out there. And there are amazing things ahead of you that you're going to experience and be able to grow into with solidity and certainty. And you're going to be able to trust yourself instead of putting yourself into this kind of a situation again where you let yourself down, ultimately, for believing things that you really in your heart knew weren't true. Nah, there's the real key. You're back in touch with yourself. Do you feel it?
I do.
You got to you. This is you now, okay? Now, the
Yeah.
worst part about this relationship, it's not done. He's going to want to come back. You probably already know that.
Yeah.
And part of you says, I want to get back involved. And part of you says, but it would still be all that secrecy and pussyfooting around, and I'd still never know what was going on except for my intuition, and it would be the big game again. And you want to know what's interesting? My guides and your guides say it doesn't really matter what you choose to do because the lid's blown off. You have gone through the disillusionment. You've put your feet on the ground. You're back to being whole and you and practical. And you're never going to be in that situation again that you were in, not with him or with anybody else.
Good. That's amazing.
You can't go back into that relationship and have it be the way it was because guess what? You're not the way you were. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, I'm not going to advise you one way or the other. I just want you to know that this is your opportunity to create a completely open, no illusions in your world, practical, Virgo kind of a life situation where you feel a whole lot more in control and comfortable with who you are. Or you can go back into the situation where there's all this stuff going on where you never totally feel like you're in control, but that's okay because now that you have your feet on the ground and you see everything the way it is, you will see everything. You will no longer doubt yourself. So he can continue to be a baby and a child, and you can say, well, okay, that's just who he is, and that's fine. Okay? Can I ask
Yeah.
you a question? Did it get a little easier, I hope?
It did. I feel a lot better. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. It's exactly what I needed.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't quite your answer because you see, your grandmother, I think that's who she is, really doesn't think that you should be running off and saying, what do I want to do next in life? She says that what you want to do next in life is already unfolding. It's unfolding at its own speed. You're going to be good at it. You don't have to worry about it. But you do have to resolve these internal issues that are going on right now. And that requires that for a change, you nurture and take care of yourself instead of other people.
Yes, very powerful, very true for me. Thank you.
Good luck with everything. And thank you so much for calling in. That was a great hour.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And who is our next caller, Lisa?
Okay, our second caller for tonight is going to be Terry. Terry, can you unmute?
I think they've changed, they've changed the format a little bit on our platform here. I think people are having a little difficulty finding the unmute button. I know I did. I had a little trouble finding the start button. Okay. Are you
well,
on?
Maybe Terry stepped away, so we're going to move to the next one.
Okay.
We're going to go to Ellen. Ellen, can you unmute?
Hi, did it work?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Ellen.
Okay, thanks. I am from Florida, and I am most grateful for my daughter, and I'm a Virgo.
This is a Virgo immutable sign night, at least so far it is. Okay. And so, what's on your mind right now? You're really, your daughter. Look at this. They're only 30 degrees in a sign. So there's 25 Virgo on this cusp. Okay. So Virgo's got the first 25 degrees in the house that represents your home and families on your mind. You're probably thinking about the holidays and who's coming for dinner and how you're going to handle everything, where you're going to fit them all. But the last 5 degrees is all about your daughter, because this house, the fifth house, is about the child. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, just a couple of words about your daughter. I don't know if she's a Virgo or a Libra, but those energies are around her right now. So I don't know how old she is either, but, she feels like she's mature, but she's got a lot of childlike characteristics too. How old is she?
She'll be 30 next week.
Okay, so I don't know what those childlike character. I felt like she was older, but she feels very young. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now I don't know if that's just some people have that natural exuberance and happiness and excitement about life. That may be the youthfulness I feel around her, or it may just be that she's acting a little immature lately. Okay, who's your mom?
No, you're right. She is very exuberant and full of life and just a happy person.
Yeah, and I think she will always have that. If I could say that there's one difficulty she's going to have with her personality, is that she tends to put her mate, whoever she's involved romantically with, she tends to build her whole life around that person. And so
Right.
when people do that, a lot of times your happiness now is dependent on another person. So that's sometimes a difficulty in life. But it looks like right now she's, aside from the fact that she sometimes is having trouble, hanging on to the coach because it's got so many bumps and up and down and lots of activity. Aside from that, she is generally pretty happy, I think, in her relationship. But boy, does it look like there's a lot of activity and action going on. She doesn't have children yet. She's likely to have them soon. She wants children. I see kids around her. Okay, so I can see why you're so happy to have your daughter around you, and that's a great thing. As far as the holidays are concerned, I've got to tell you and all the other mutable signs here, please go with the flow, exercise your mutability all through the holiday season, because every single thing you plan, although you're going to have lots of fun planning it, it's not going to happen the way you plan it. So don't get upset about the changes. Just go with the flow and say, okay, life is happening and it's all good. Okay? And then you'll have a wonderful holiday season. But if you try to pin it down and control it, it's going to be really not so much. Okay?
Okay. Good to know.
Now, what is your specific question?
My question is, I would like to get involved in mediumship and intuitive readings, and I felt like I was ready a while ago, and then a friend of mine died And ever since then, I just felt like my vibration is kind of low, that everything just seems to be changing around me. So now I'm not so sure anymore. I guess I used to feel more sure of myself, but now I kind of doubt myself.
I hope you're planning on coming to my spirit communication webinar on Thursday. It's going to be very important to you. Okay, so if you can arrange your schedule to be there, do it. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
what I'm saying is, yes, your friends have had a tremendous impact on you, but I also want you to know a couple of other things that are going on.
Okay.
We are moving in our. By the way, is everyone hearing the static that came on as soon as she got emotional? You hear it? Take 3 deep breaths, relax, calm yourself. Relax, pretend you're a butterfly, wave your wings, and that static will go away. Okay? It's really interesting. You are obviously you're a natural born medium, so you've had spirit connections in your life, in your world, with great frequency, more than the average person, certainly. And recently, those connections have either not happened when you wanted them to, or they've been out of your control, like this one is right now. The world is going through a change as we evolve. We've been moving out of the third dimension through into the fifth dimension. I'm sure you've heard this because it's all over everything we New Age folks look at. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your psychic connections were used to being, you were used to operating within the realm of that third dimension. You are now learning to operate in a fourth or fifth dimension, and the energy is different. And once you feel comfortable with it, and it's not like you have to change, you will learn it, just like you learned how to walk and talk before, you'll do the same thing again as part of who you are. The thing is that when you do get into that place where it clicks, it's going to be ever so much clearer than it ever was before. Okay? Because the fifth dimension won't have all of the direct hanging on it that we had when we were in the third dimension. It's just going to be so much easier to connect and make and with clarity. Okay? So this is going to be pretty good. So the other thing that you need to be aware of, and now you've calmed down because you started to pay attention to what I was saying, we now know that focus helps you to open up and to gain clarity and to let go of the stuff that's in the way of your spirit communication, right? And
Right.
the reason why when you lost your friend, it became so much more difficult to make those connections and to control them is because you kept letting your emotion, and that emotion came from the third dimension, you kept letting your emotion pull you down and stop and cut those connections off.
Okay.
Now, I want to just talk about something else because this is so much fun. The planet Neptune is the planet that we associate with empathy and also spirit communication. And in the throwaway horary chart that I've got up here for this evening, Neptune is elevated in the house of career. Isn't that amazing? Now, the sign that connects to mediumship is either Scorpio or Pisces. Notice this is in Pisces. And Jupiter, which is the other ruler of Pisces, is right there up on the midheaven. Okay, so not only could you be a medium, okay, this is opposing your sun again. It's bringing your relationship issues out between you and other people professionally. Not only could you be a medium, not only could you be an empath, a psychic reader, but you could be a professional in it, particularly working online or doing lectures or writing books or teaching. And I'm sure all of these things have gone through your mind. Okay?
Yeah.
And so here it is. It's in the chart. And folks, it's not just for her. If you're a Virgo, you're also going to be like seeing things, feeling things that maybe you never felt before. Likewise, if you're a Sagittarian or a Gemini, you know, you're kind of going through a reality shift. Your senses are perking up and acting in ways that you kind of have to catch up with yourself. I had an interesting thing happen. I had some surgery done on my left eye recently. And for years, I've had the beginnings of macular degeneration. But being a psychic, my clairvoyance kicked in, and I was kind of seeing through that macular degeneration. Well, that eye surgery upset the apple cart. So I had to relearn my clairvoyance to see through the macular degeneration in a new way. Guess what? It's the same exact thing that's going on for you with your spirit communication. It's just that it came through a different perception for me because I'm not a Virgo, I'm a Gemini. Okay, so folks, again, we're getting information more for the mutable signs, but remember, all of us have got some mutable signs in us somewhere, okay? All of us have a little bit of Pisces or Virgo or Gemini or Sagittarius. So these things we're talking about are going to affect you too and your loved ones. And now you also understand that as much as you want to talk to your loved ones and connect with them after they've passed, if you're going to be super emotional about it, you're not going to be able to make that connection, okay? Matter of fact, you could go to another medium, the best medium in the world, and they may not be able to push through the static that's around your emotional vortex to be able to make that connection either. So you've got to get those emotions controlled if you want to have that clear vision. Okay?
Okay.
Any last question?
No, that should do it. Thank you so much. Very helpful.
You're very welcome. You be well and continue your dream. Okay? I think it's a good one. And Lisa, who's next?
All right. I've made a connection with Terry, and she can't speak, but she has written her question in the chat room, so I will read that to you. She is a Leo. She's from Maryland. She's grateful for her healthy grandson, and she's in need of new employment and doesn't know what she should be pursuing. She just left healthcare.
Yeah.
So she's wanting to know what direction to go.
You know, this is so interesting. And what did you say her sign was? Sun sign?
She is a Leo.
A Leo. Okay. I'm going to find her on here. Here's Leo down here coming in on the bottom of the chart. Now that's 24. So most of Leo is in that third house, which talks about communication, foundation education. Based on the Hurry chart, and I know this isn't something you really want to hear, but it would be a great idea right now for you to go back to school for something. I'm going to just say, based on the card I'm going to show you the card I drew for you relative to healthcare, which is an inverted Ten of Swords. This doesn't look happy, does it? It's the guy that's got all these swords. I'll show it to you right side up so you can see it. All these swords sticking out of his back, and there he is down on the ground. Now it's upside down, which says you're out of it, you're done with it, and guess what? You don't want to go back, okay? So I don't know what it is that made you get out or leave it. I don't know if it was you're supposed to get a vaccination, don't want one, or if you were just burned out, or all of the above. My guides say you don't want any part of it, you don't want to go back to it. And yet that's what your education is in, that's what most of your life was in. And what they are saying is that you can build on that education by taking some certification courses. I don't see this as necessarily going back for a, like the whole undergrad course of study, but you might be able to take some certification classes to get you into something which isn't directly involved with the healthcare, but builds upon the skill and the knowledge and the certifications you already have. And that way you'll be able to stay in the field that can be financially healthy for you, but also lifts that black cloud, that negativity that you want so badly to stay away from. Here's the interesting thing, though, about this whole thing. The idea of going to school, according to your guides, or just taking some time off and spending it with friends and hanging out with people and having a lot of social activity, sharing your thoughts with people of like mind, maybe taking some art classes, sculpting, and just staying home for a while. Why are they suggesting all these things? Frankly, you're burned out and you don't even know you're burned out, okay? And so being able to stay in the educational system without pressure for a while, study some things you enjoy, meet with friends and family members to just relax and refine who you are and what you want. Very important to you right now. There was something that you embraced when you first got into healthcare way back when you were a young woman. And my guides are saying you need to go back and find that, whether it's within the healthcare system, whether it's in a related field, or whether it's in a whole different field. The important thing is that you embrace that joy that you had, that you approach your work with and people with. Because boy, oh boy, are you a bright light, and you're a people person, and people love to be around you, and your presence is healing. And you don't necessarily have to be doing work in the health field in order to be successful at helping people to heal. But right now, you've got to work on yourself. You know, your light came pretty close to going out. Okay, I don't mean death. I mean that joy you meet the world with. You need to do the things for yourself that will reignite it. Okay. Good luck to you, and I hope that was helpful. Okay. Lisa, did you write anything else back in there? Otherwise, we can move on to our next person.
Nope, we can move on.
Okay. And who's next?
All right, the next person I'm going to call on is Ginger, who is someone that we met at the retreat.
Awesome.
Ginger, can you unmute? Say hello, Ginger.
I don't think she.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, not unmuted yet.
Yeah, she's unmuted.
Huh.
She has a green mic, but I can't hear her.
Maybe her volume isn't turned up.
No, Ginger, we can't hear you.
Ginger, if you type your question into the chat room, and don't forget to put down your sun sign, Lacey will be able to read it out. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for her to do that, why don't we go on to the next person?
Okay, well, she just said she's from Florida and she is a Cancer. So she's typing quickly.
I'll say, yeah, she's quick. Good. Okay, then we can work with you if you can type that.
And she's
That's great.
actually from California.
Okay. Well, here's Cancer. It's the second house. So if you are a Cancer, folks, or a Capricorn, or an Aries, or a Libra, you're on the cardinal axis in astrology. And right now, you're being affected by Pluto in the house of money and finance and government and law. So there's this feeling of oppression around you. Pluto brings that oppression relative to a lot of those things. But there's also healing because Chiron is in Aries. So you've got lots of friends and groups around you that are bringing healing in. And Libra is part of this. It's a T-square you're dealing with. Libra is a part of it, which also says that there are either friends, children, or a romantic partner around you who's a tremendous support system and kind of gives you jabs here and there to get you moving, which is good for you because sometimes you need that. You need that stimulation to kind of get off your perch and actually make the things happen that you dream about. What's interesting is this T-square. I'm going to draw it with my cursor. Watch, my cursor's up here. This is the crossbar for the T, right? And this is the vertical bar for the T, which points into the house that represents Cancer. So right now you're feeling like all the pressure is on you. You're the one who has to take care of the family, support the family, pull it all together, make all the decisions, get the kids dressed and out the door, you know, the whole ball of wax. It's like you're feeling a little bit overburdened, that everything, and that whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's in the family, whether it's with your friends, you're just feeling like everybody is depending upon you. The good part of that is that you're really discovering that you're capable of doing far, far more than you ever realized you could. You're an amazingly strong woman. The bad part is that you're getting kind of tired of carrying the burden for everybody else. So you should be asking yourself, maybe it's time for me to start to be a little more selective in what I allow myself to be roped into doing. It's time to not say yes to everything. I drew some cards for you. I see a gentleman around you who wants your companionship, is reaching out. It feels like this is somebody who either is from your past or reminds you of someone from your past. So you want to keep that door closed. but that might not be in your best interest. This person could be very different and actually be good for you. I'm also seeing you are tired of having to be, I said this already, everything to everyone, and you're looking for I'm going to say, a future, a partnership, a friendship where you can just be yourself, have what you want, be what you want, and be supported for who you are, not who someone wants you to be. Okay, now, what is your specific question?
Okay, what she's written in here. And I'm sorry, she is the one from Florida. I had two different people texting me at the same time. She is grateful for her recent circle back to the metaphysical world. She's been widowed for about 4 years and just recently met someone.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
And
seeing.
that's all we have so far.
Yeah, I'm seeing this on off. Do I want him? No, I don't want him. Do I want him? No, I don't want him. and don't wait too long because he's a good guy. Okay, this is not somebody who's coming from the wrong place. Okay, and I know from your perspective, it's too soon. You're not ready. But I also feel like this person, he's willing to wait, just not too long. And you need to be upfront and honest with him. I see, by the way, you still, and I understand this whole thing. You don't want to get involved in a romantic situation where you're doing transference, i.e., I'm on the rebound from the loss of my husband, and I'm gonna be involved with this other person before I'm really ready. So I'm definitely understanding your feelings. I think it's smart that you want to fully get back on your feet and recover. You don't want to be saved. You want to be a whole person, and you haven't fully recovered. Probably not even close. That was a real difficult situation. The thing is that this guy is a good guy. He is patient. He understands what you've gone through. Be honest. Be upfront with him. But also remember that, he's been through a lot too. And he could be the right person for you to maybe share and recover from all this loss with. Because he understands. He's that person and he will be there for you. Will you be with him in the long term? I'm not sure if you will or not. A whole lot depends on really this next year. And, just what the two of you end up being able to be to each other. I feel like he may be moving faster than you're ready to go at this point. The thing is, it has the potential for whatever it's going to be a good relationship in the now. Okay? So enjoy it for what it is and see where it takes you. Okay? And Lisa, who is our next person?
Okay, first she said that was wonderful to hear, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next person I'm calling on is Marie. Marie, can you unmute? Hello, Marie.
We are definitely, and Mercury isn't even retrograde right now,
I
folks.
know it. It's direct.
and everybody's having
Marie, talk.
cool.
All right, I'll call on her later and see if she can talk, but I do have another one in the...
Yeah, Lisa, hang on. Before you call on the next person, I did pull some cards for Marie. I have no idea what her sign is, but and I don't really want to spend too much time in the chat. I want to see if I can fit in one or two more people. But Marie looks like she's in the middle of a battle that it is time to walk away from. It's time to put the burden down, let it go. You've put so much energy and time and work into all this. There's also been illness around you. It's time to let go and look at the good things around you and move on. I see a lot of sadness around you, a lack of energy, a whole lot of things pulling you down. I also see a gentleman around you who is really in your corner, giving you lots of help. He's very uplifting. He's someone you can talk to. And he's going to help you to see the good things in life so that you can start to climb back up out of that emotional hole that you've been in for a while. Okay? Okay, who's next, Lisa?
Now I'm just all kinds of confused as to where I was going with all this. Okay, I'm going to do one more out of the chat room. And this is Sherry. And it says, "Hi, Lisa and Sandy. My name is Sherry. My sun's sign is Gemini. And by the way, the girl you just read was a Gemini.
Okay.
My sun's sign is Gemini, and I'm most thankful for my job. But my question is, what career direction would be the most fulfilling? I'm a librarian, but my boyfriend is in the Navy, and he will be relocating again soon. The uncertainty is worrying me."
You know, I think what's really worrying you is that you're not sure that you want to relocate with him. Okay? So we've got an underlying question here. And, you know, you're knowing, well, are you going to stay being a librarian? I guess that's the first question. My guides are saying probably not. So whether you stay with him and move with him if he relocates, or whether you stay where you are, you're probably not going to stay a librarian. You're going to be moving into a different field. It's time. And I think you felt that. And I don't know whether you're close to retirement. You might be thinking of retiring, or perhaps you can retire early from this position and get something else that's a little bit more, maybe I feel mind expanding. Okay. You feel like you're ready to expand, but you're also not really sure that you want to, you know, pick up roots and change your, and when I say change your life, I'm not just talking about your job. I'm talking about your friends and your home and family. You know, you're kind of settled where you're at, and you're concerned. I'm going to be as blunt as I need to be, but you're concerned about if you do stay, how you're going to make ends meet financially. But you're also not happy about the idea of going with him. So let's ask, is he actually going to relocate? And no, he has an option. He doesn't have to. So maybe this question or this discussion is not something you should be having with me, but something you should be having with him. Because he apparently has the option of saying, no, I don't want to relocate. Or maybe he can go and do that job and then come back to you when that job is done. Okay, the thing is that there is an alternative here that you haven't considered. And I also get that, you know, he cares about you. He's willing to work with you. You're just feeling like the whole thing is very unfair. You're also feeling like there are a lot of unfair things and maybe even legal issues going on where you're working right now that you're ready to no longer be a part of. And that's very true. There are a lot of other places you can go with your educational background. You don't have to stay where you're at. I feel like that has run its course for you. Okay? I hope that helped. And Lisa, I think I can take one more person. Let's do somebody who's on the phone. If we can get somebody who can actually answer.
Well, I have just the right person who's next on my list, and that would be Mr. Brandon.
Ah,
Brandon, can you unmute? Uh-oh. Brandon, are you there?
yeah, I know Brandon can unmute. Brandon, we're not hearing you though. We
Yeah,
might.
he's not unmuted.
Yeah, we're gonna have to skip Brandon. Go to our next person.
All righty. Our next person then is going to be Mr. Chaz, who I have not heard from in a long time. Chaz, can you unmute?
Yes, I can unmute.
Yahoo! Hello.
Hey, guys. I don't know what's going on, but thankfully I can unmute.
Yeah, we're definitely having some interesting connection issues this evening. Okay,
Right.
so Chad,
So, yes, I'm a Virgo from New York City, Brooklyn, and I'm most grateful for my friends who actually understand me.
I love that. And
Thank you.
I'm
That's very
grateful
important.
that you have them to be grateful too. Yes, that's wonderful. Thanks for sharing.
Yep. Thank you. So my question is, I'm a Virgo, so I heard what you said earlier about the relationship, and that was like spot on. It was like insane how spot on that was. And I know I've personally asked you questions about relationships as well, more than likely the same one. And my question is now like, I actually finally was able to get out of that relationship as well. The issue right now is it's real personal. We have each other blocked, right? But she's still emailing me trying to give me business because she works in the field that I'm looking to break into. But she's actually still trying to give me business, and I personally I asked her like I thought she was cutting it off, and she says she kind of like curses at me and says, "Well, I'm still trying to give you business. Let me know if you want to do it or not." And it was kind of like, she's like, if you don't want to be professional, let me know. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with me being professional. It's just, do I even like you, Eddie boy? You know what I mean? And so, my question to you is, what do I do? 'Cause-
Well, Chaz, from talking to me before, that my guides aren't ever going to tell you what to do, but
okay,
can tell you what's going to happen depending
right,
on what action you are thinking of taking. So why
right.
don't you give me some choices? If I do this, and will that make me happy? If I do this, will that make me happy? I can answer that for you.
Okay, my mistake. If I was to work with her, will that make me happy? And like, if I was able to separate the personal feelings from the business, will that make me happy?
No, it won't.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you already had that answer. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
what's going on here? And now, we're talking about the disillusionment that we started the call
Right.
with, that all Virgos and Geminis and Sagittarians are presently going through, and Pisceans. Okay, we're going through it. It's big time right now, and the disillusionment is that the 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 person that you saw in the relationship was somebody who was emotionally erratic, unpredictable, ungrounded, and behaved in ways that constantly eroded your self confidence, kept you off balance, and made you feel like you were on the end of a rubber band, like you couldn't get away. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, what makes you think that in business she would behave any differently?
Right. Exactly. And it was me also, being clairvoyant and having these visions. But, in certain, like this morning, I asked and I had a vision of a snake like striking at me if I didn't work with her. But then if I did, I had a vision of rose quartz in the shape of a question mark. Cause she does like give me crystals, or she used to. She doesn't necessarily even believe in it, but she's done that. But at the same time, you've also answered certain questions before you've answered certain questions about visions and the accuracy of them depending on the situation.
Yeah, and the bottom line here, and remember, the world is a reflection of you. We're creating our world, we all are, and so what we see outside of us is a reflection of ourselves, what we have created. So obviously, there would be the possibility out there somewhere in some version of your life where you could have a strictly business relationship with her that would work. But in order to do that, you would have to change the way that you relate to her. And that's the wild card, because you would have to no longer be affected by her emotional ups and her downs and her manipulation and her control games and her desire to actually treat you like she's the puppeteer and you're the marionette.
Right. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And that's the thing, being so sensitive to, because I was in love with her, I can't pretend like I'm not in love with her. That does affect my emotions even more.
And we've already talked about there's an element of vampirism that goes on in this relationship That's another thing, by the way, I didn't mention, but Neptune is always involved in vampire relationships. And Virgos and Geminis and Sagittarians and Pisces are all having those experiences right now. So, the only way that you could make that relationship work is if you stopped responding to those things that she did that pierced your energy field and let your energy drain, because she's used to, every time she's low on energy or she's upset about something, all she has to do is poke your balloon. She gets a charge of energy. It works every time. So
Works every time.
yeah, so she's finding a new way, you see, by sending you business. She's finding a new way to get into your energy, which isn't necessarily bad if there's an exchange going on. But you've got to decide, do I want to give this girl energy or don't I? You see? Do I want to work with somebody in a business situation that every time I deal with them, I'm gonna feel like I'm emotionally off balance?
Right. Yeah, I appreciate it. You gave me an answer many times, and today is like the final straw, So I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I just want to share something else. Neptune, those of you who are mutable signs, and those of you who may not be a mutable sun sign, but do have planets in the mutable signs, a lot of you do. Neptune is only at 21 degrees, 20 degrees and 47 seconds of Pisces. It's going to be in Pisces for almost another 10 years. It moves very, very slowly, okay? For a while, it was our outer planet, okay? So, Neptune is the planet that brings the soulmate into your life. There's somebody else out there for you, Chaz, who is going to be the right person that you can love, that you can have that tremendous affection and tremendous soul connection without feeling like you're an emotional pincushion.
Right.
And, you wouldn't fall in love with this girl if there weren't also good parts of the relationship. So,
Right. Absolutely.
in your heart and in your mind, hold those good parts close, because that's what's going to help you to manifest somebody in your future who will be those good parts.
Okay.
But I think she has a lot of growing to do before she can really be the right partner for you, whether it's a romantic partner or a business partner. Because frankly, Chaz, even in order for you to ask these questions, you see you've outgrown her.
Hmm.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Now, you might want to stay in a relationship because having outgrown her, maybe you can now, have a relationship where she no longer affects you because you're not related to her in the same way. But do you need that relationship in your life anymore if it no longer supplies that growth?
Right.
So it's up to you. You got to weigh this one. Weigh it before you move forward. And remember, it has to be your decision. All I can really tell you is that she is who she is, and who she was in a personal relationship is the same as she is in a business relationship.
Yeah.
And so at least you know how to deal with her.
Right. I appreciate that for real. Thank you again, Sandy, as always.
Good luck to you, Chaz. It was really good to speak with you. And folks, I
Thank
want
you.
to say thank you to everyone who stayed on the call with me. Remember what I said at the beginning of tonight's session. If you did not get a reading from me this evening and you were here right up until the end, I welcome your simple one question. I need you to tell me what your sun sign is. I need to know your name, where you're from, and what you're most grateful for, just as if I was talking to you on here. And give me about 2 weeks to be sure I can get back to you, because it takes me a while. I get so many questions after these sessions. But as long as your question reaches me before 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow evening, I will be glad to answer. Thank you so much for being here. Have a happy, happy Halloween. And I'm going to see you right after Thanksgiving next month. So please also have a very happy Thanksgiving. I love, love, love this time of year. And I hope everybody moves through this wonderful fall, Here in the U.S., it's fall, and on the other side of the world, it's spring. Move through this wonderful change of seasons with joy in your heart, and may all the best things in life come your way. I'll talk to you again soon, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you on my spirit communication seminar, webinar, that's going to be on Thursday. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.